Hi everyone, I'm Aruna, and most of you guys know me as a makeup artist and beautician. I hope that this platform inspires you to explore and expand parts of yourself so that you can really tap into your highest potential. Here we dive deep into the stories of our guests to inspire and uplift through simple conversation. If you're interested in living more mindfully and more consciously, then be sure to check it out. Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of Soul Beauty. I'm your host, Aruna Maharaj, and today I'm very, very extra excited about our guest because she is the first guest that we have outside of Trinidad and Tobago, and she is someone by the name of Ashmi Pathela. And I came across her Instagram a couple weeks ago, almost about a month ago, and she's an author and a writer, and she just has a way with words. And with everything that a lot of us have been going through during the pandemic, even before the pandemic, and are still going through, her words just had a way of resonating with me. And it was almost as if her words were speaking exactly what I was feeling, but I just did not realize. And I think that she's just going to be this great guest on the show, and I'm just so excited to have her. You have no idea, because I think she can really, really help a lot of us who are navigating through a lot of changes in life and a lot of transitions. So, without further ado, I want to thank and just welcome Ashmi to the show. Hi,
Thank you
Ashmi.
so much, Aruna. I'm honored to be here and I'm so excited.
Yay. So I don't really not have a major plan, but we don't have a big structure for today. I just really want this to just go with the natural flow and my genuine curiosity about your life and your journey and the things that you've learned and what you can share with us, because everything that you've shared so far on your social media really has helped me a lot. And I'm sure that just delving deeper into it is going to help even more. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me about the story of Ashmi and, what brings you to where you are today.
Yeah, I love how you said navigating transitions, because my journey has been about coming back to the truth of my heart and listening to my heart on what I want to experience in this life. I started off in Silicon Valley working in technology, and it was a dream career at the time, but very stressful. And I was working so hard and just waking up with anxiety, panic attacks, just being go, go, go. And work was all I was doing. So I lost that connection to my spirit, that playful side of me, my heart. And in 2017, so 5 years ago, actually exactly 5 years ago this week, I decided to leave Silicon Valley. I had a one-way ticket and I booked a ticket and I just traveled the world. And my intention was help me come back to my heart, show me the power of my heart. And I wanted to let go of my old ideas or assumptions on what success or happiness have to look like and just define it for myself. And in that, I realized my old career, which was still very thrilling for me and very fruitful, it was no longer my highest joy. It was no longer the path I wanted. So I went really within and had so many of my old values overturned, my priorities overturned, started asking myself bigger questions on how do I want to live? What do I want? What is possible? And my whole life has changed.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So you decided to leave your job and travel the world. So where were you located before? Where was your job?
Yeah, San Francisco. So I grew up in the Bay Area, San Francisco.
Okay. And then what were some of the places that you traveled to?
Yeah, my first stop was Spain. And then I went to Cape Town and I stayed 2 months in Cape Town. And I did this unconventional retreat called Unsettled. And it was for people like me who no longer resonated with the conventions of the world, and they wanted to create a new life for themselves. So a lot of it was like freelancers, artists, creatives, writers. And while we did live together and work together on our own projects, we also had such amazing conversations about life and the finding our hearts and listening to ourselves. And it really helped me see that, oh, there are other people like me who resonate and I'm not alone. And it kind of started this spiritual or inward journey to my heart. And I went to Bali. I stayed in Bali for a year. I decided to live there because I loved it so much. Also went to Japan, Israel, Thailand. So it took me everywhere.
Nice.
And it was more so an inward journey, though, on discovering myself.
Yeah, it's funny because I've done a lot of travel in my life, and I actually went through a phase where I realized that a lot of my travel was more like escapism. And that was really hard to admit to myself, that I was kind of running away. So then I decided, okay, I'm not going to travel. And then I created a block with traveling. And now I feel a little more settled, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to travel again, really see the world. And just hearing, just the sequence of events and the different places you've visited, it's kind of sparking a little, travel bug.
Oh, that's so
kind
nice.
of biting me.
Yeah. And you don't have to go anywhere, really. You can do this exploration within because, the last few years we've been locked down. But I realized the greatest journey is through finding yourself and coming back to that calm and that peace. And often we're such in fight or flight mode, in stress mode, always rushing, thinking of what we need to do next, that we forget to create time for ourselves to actually tune in and sit in nature and just listen and receive. And I realized that life doesn't have to be this hustle, go, 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 force and worry. The more I learned to surrender and trust, the easier it actually became. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Because I know that hustle life.
Yeah.
I know that running around like an Energizer bunny, headless chicken.
Yeah.
And there were points in my life where I actually felt proud of the hustle life.
Of course. Yeah. Me too.
But burnout, to the point of burnout, it's not fancy. It's not nice, and sometimes we don't even know that we're burnt out. It's only when the body crashes, then you realize, and being in the beauty industry, I stood a lot. So I had to, you stand to do hair, you stand to do makeup, and it's for hours and hours at a time. And I'm literally back home and cannot get off the bed. I just need the bed as soon as I get home. And then also skipping meals, so that when you finally get a meal, you're like, and you just end up eating the fastest thing, which is not the healthiest thing. And I know that life, and it's not something that I ever want to go back to. And since the pandemic and things have been starting back to get back busy, there are some days when I do find myself going back into that.
Yeah.
It's because I do have to work, life has to happen. We have to live. But I think the balance was just severely off. And because my body is realizing that I've gone on that extreme for so long, it's almost like I want and I feel like I deserve to go on the opposite extreme for as long as it feels right, which is where I'm at now. And I want to relax more, but I still can't. But at the same time, I know to myself that I deserve more relaxing. I really do.
Yep. The mind will judge that, because we're so used to being productive and measuring our worth by how much you actually get done. But actually, when you are transitioning and coming out of your old stressful life, the body is so wise and it's telling you to relax and rest and slow down. And we actually are not used to this level of slowing down to the place of 0 point where you're literally not doing anything, it seems. But what's actually happening is within, you're clearing your programming that tells you need to rush and always hurry, and you're allowing your nervous system to just come back to its natural state. Because if you look at the animals, the birds, they're really in their natural state. So we humans are not aware of how relaxing and slow we can actually move. And it doesn't mean stay stuck there forever, but when you've slowed down and relaxed your nervous system, then you can actually hear your intuition. You can hear the wisdom of your heart. You can get open to ideas and synchronicities. Yeah, everything will shift from that point.
Yes, yes. And I've been experiencing them in smaller waves now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know that I'm on the right path and I'm
Yeah.
on the right track because I really trust my journey. Like I really do.
Beautiful.
Even in the darkness, because
Yeah.
exactly what we were talking about, that need to be productive makes me feel like guilt when I'm not. And the thing about it is, Ashmi, is that like I've had my first guest, my friend Mohammed. He's a very, very wise soul. He's a musician in Trinidad and Tobago. And I just respect him so much. He said, guilt does nothing for nobody. He's like, that's how he talks, right? And I will never forget that. Like that is etched in my head forever. But one thing that's happening is that you could know something here, but to know it here and to live it and to have it be you, it takes so much practice.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
know?
Yeah, it is our self-talk, and it isn't something that can shift instantly unless you really shift your frequency and your beliefs. Usually for people, it's just a moment by moment, noticing how you're talking to yourself. Are you criticizing yourself? Are you judging? Are you comparing yourself to others? Are you saying, oh, I didn't do enough. I didn't do, I'm not worthy. Because deep down, the biggest wound is thinking we're not good enough as we are. So the more you catch yourself and start giving yourself more positive, not just affirmations, but, think about how you support a friend. Support yourself like your best friend would, right? And be more gentle and soft with yourself, because as much as we see other people in the rat race and chasing and tiring themselves out, and it looks like this is the only way to do it, I really believe people who resonate with these messages, we're actually here to show a new way of being and discover a new way, which is life can be supporting us. It can be easeful. I can receive ideas. I can be me, and I'm enough. And that self-love is not so dominant in the world that if you do practice even 1% more self-love, if you practice 1% more self-love, you will show other people it's possible too.
Yeah. And this self-love journey I actually had to put so much intention behind the self-love journey.
Mm-hmm.
And the self-love journey also came with guilt, because there is a part of it that can be selfish or can be perceived as selfish. And it's been tough. It's been tough owning that I deserve this self-love. And you think it's easy. You really think it's easy, because we have defined self-love as massages and going out, getting some cocktails, seeing some time to self, going to the beach. But real self-love is so tough.
I know.
It's not rainbows and butterflies, which is why we need to really redefine the even the word love, not just self-love, because I do think that you have to give tough love to others too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is a redefinition. And often we seek it through outer expressions. And of course, there's nothing wrong with a bath or taking care of yourself and nourishing your body and mind. But for me, my self-love journey was about sitting with the heaviest suppressed emotions that I didn't allow myself to release from childhood, sitting with all the emotions of not thinking I'm good enough, and everything that was piled up from me being a child in this world, simply trying to make it in this world through my career, simply through middle school, right? And allowing myself to feel that pain and also love myself and reparent myself, give myself the words that I was yearning to hear as a child, allow myself to cry for the first time and really feel that, because for years I thought I had to be strong and positive and I can't show my weakness. But actually, loving yourself is loving yourself even when you feel your worst, loving yourself no matter how life is going. Yeah,
exactly. And the thing is, sometimes we don't have a problem giving it, but to others. But when it comes to giving it to ourselves, we are really hard on ourselves. Why is that? Why have we become so hard on ourselves?
Yeah, I feel it's conditional programming from the society and beliefs, but also from generation to generation, we take on the belief system and energy of our ancestors, our parents from past lifetimes, if you believe in that. So you, from a young age, your soul remembers feeling unworthy or not lovable or not accepted as you are. And we just take that as our truth, even though deep down, you are light, you are love, you are so precious, you are worthy. And like you said, we might think it's selfish to give ourselves that, but actually what you heal in yourself, you heal for your future children, your existing children if you have them, your whole lineage. Even this inner child work can heal it for your childhood self.
Yeah.
It's like you are your future self, giving that love to your childhood self. So it is very powerful across time and space.
Wow. And it's true what they say. I really, really do believe this. Everybody is so caught up in thinking how they can change the world. But really and truly, the way to change the world is to change yourself.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, literally, that's just how it works.
Yeah.
Because it spreads, that love it just pours out. Eventually, you don't even have to try. And if humanity can get there, when humanity gets
we
there,
do. Yes.
and it's closer than we think.
Yes, I believe that.
I do. I really do.
Yeah, no, it's so amazing because while I was working in a company in technology in Silicon Valley, I felt like I was changing the world because the company mission statement, they tried to make you feel like this is going to change the world. This is the product the world needs. And of course, there's so many amazing companies that are helping the world in different industries. But I was still not living my fullest soul expression. I was still not shining and giving my true natural gift to the world, because I believe we all are here and all of our essence, our soul, our heart is so unique, and we have gifts to share with the world. And the way to unlock that is actually follow your highest joy. Follow the truth of what calls you, and it's going to look unique to yourself. It's not going to be the same as another person's expression. So when you're trying to fit yourself in the box of a company or compare yourself to another person, you're going to lose that voice that is calling you. You're going to lose your own swimming lane, if you will. Like, stay in your own lane. And
I call it the universal sweet spot.
Yes.
I believe that every single one of us that have manifested into a human body has their own sweet spot.
Yes.
And it's designed exactly for that body and that story and
Absolutely.
that. And the day everyone can see that, there wouldn't be this comparison of you're doing this, so let me do this too, or let me try doing it this way. Inspiration is great. I think we need to inspire each other, but imitation is, we need to just do our own thing, and everybody will be in full expression.
Yep. And people say, well, but I don't know what my gifts are. But often it is so core and natural to you that you don't even see that it's a gift. You know, it might be, and it's different from the way we define success or a role or a career in the 3D conventional world, where it's like you are this job title and that's your skill set. It's different. It could be energetic. It could be the way you love. It could be the way you see the world. It could be your healing powers, right? Like everyone has these, and we don't really believe that we are special or we have it. But for me, the more I started even asking and putting the intention out there, show me my true essence, I started doing things that I loved doing as a child. Like I started painting and journaling again. And it's not even the writing that's my gift. It's the essence behind it and the energy behind the writing, which is connecting with spirit, connecting with my awe for life and the beauty of the universe, and translating that energy into physical, either words or art. Right? So everyone has such a unique way of navigating and feeling and being in the world. And the more you ask yourself, what is my highest joy right now? And just do that. It doesn't have to be your future career path. It can just be right now, what do I want to do?
But it would be the breadcrumbs to help lead you.
Exactly.
There is never a regret in following your highest joy, right?
Yeah.
There can't be, because that's the path. That's what lights the path. I think
it is the path.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, girl, let me tell you, honestly, I'm looking for that path so badly right now. And I know this and all these things are all part of the path. And I know it's kind of already happening, but it still doesn't feel like it's happened. It's weird, if that makes sense. And I know that it's going to make sense to you because that's what you write about.
I feel like as humans, that's so normal to feel like, oh, but I'm not doing it yet. Oh, I need to become this, or I need to improve. But actually, it's not about improving yourself or becoming more. It's about letting go of all the masks and layers of who you are not, and really seeing yourself as you are, and really owning your light within. So I would say you're already doing it. And it's not about how it looks on the outside. So let's say before you were really speaking and sharing and helping people around beauty, and you still are. But what is it about that you love? You love helping people. You love inspiring people. Look at the core energy exchange. It's not about the topic or the industry you're in. It's the core. How does that make you feel when you do that? And you're still doing it in this podcast too, talking about other topics. You're still helping people feel inspired and notice the light and the beauty within also. So I would say you're already doing it.
I think that is what I needed to hear.
It's true.
There can be a lot of self-doubt when you're starting something new. I'm not gonna lie, I have been battling with that because I'm just so used to so much more traffic, views, feedback. And I do think the Instagram algorithm has changed a bit. But it's funny because I know my content has changed. So I know I've actually seen some followers, new types of followers, and then some unfollows, which would be, I'm seeing the release of where my messages need to go and where it doesn't need to go. And it's okay that it doesn't need to go everywhere, it just has to go where it has to go. And it's just interesting to see the transition happening. And also knowing too that like with you and your Instagram, for instance, I think this is very interesting to share with the listeners and the audience. I contacted Ashmi about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and she was about under 20,000 followers. So this is, and then I wasn't very intimidated to message her and to reach out to her. And then literally within these last few weeks leading up to the interview, I was telling one of my friends about you. I have this podcast coming up, and who are you interviewing? And I said, oh, this girl, she's so cool. Like, you need to check out. And I looked, this is last night, right? And I was like, yeah. And then I looked at your profile and it was up to 50,000. And then I spoke to you this morning and you told me 51,000. And it's crazy that if you look at Ashmi's profile, you would see most of the tiles are text. And the world that I've come from, Ashmi, with the beauty industry, fashion, social life and this kind of thing, nothing gets more likes, traffic, views, etc., than a face or a body and a bikini and this and that. And I've tested it before with marketing on my business pages, where if there's too much text, even Facebook will guide you with their ads guidelines. It says too much text in your image, you can't boost it, things like that. And I'm seeing only text on your profile, but there's so much sharing and buzz and growth so naturally, organically, but also exponentially. And it's inspiring to me because it shatters everything that I thought was necessary for that energy transfer. Because I don't look at social media reach as likes and followers and this and that. I look at it as energy. And,
absolutely. Yep.
Right. So for me, it is, and it's not even about the quantity, it's about the quality. So I actually do take notice of the people in my circles that are actually engaging. And it's interesting to see, because the older Aruna almost had a block for those things because the engagement was so much and so high that I was just accustomed. I had even taken off likes notification for likes because it was too much and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just incredible to see you doing your thing in your sweet spot. And it inspires me because I know that a lot of people are going through transitions.
Yeah. No, I really believe it is energy. And the more you align with your heart, the more you share that transparently with the world in the way that's most exciting to you, the world will feel that. The energy will attract similar people who will resonate deeply. And when you do that, when you're in your sweet spot, you can throw all the rules out the window. Like, I actually, photos of my face don't do as well as the text because people want to share the text.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with how I look or anything. It's all the people who are following are here for those profound messages, and mine are long, like sometimes 10 slides. But what I would say is you are so courageous for shedding your old skin and starting to share the truth of where you are now and how you are wanting to move in life, even though you have such a beautiful established audience who are used to the old types of posts you were sharing. And I would say in transition, that's almost the hardest time, where of course you're not going to get the same engagement from the people who followed you for beauty tips, let's say, right? That's like saying, if you're following a restaurant on Instagram for food pics, and suddenly the restaurant starts posting about spirituality. Well, those people are there for the hamburgers. They're not there for the spirituality. So it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong or your messaging's off. It's really trusting that the more you are true to your soul and the more you put yourself out there as you are, your true tribe will come to you and they will feel you and they will be with you even more loyally, more in joy, more in love than your previous sharings. So trust that. It's just so beautiful. And it's not even about the audience. It's not even about who sees and what they think. It's just about you. And if you're not sharing what brings you joy, that you're not going to feel excited. It's not going to come from the fullest part of you. It's not going to be inspired, and it's going to get stale, and people are going to feel that. So always do it for you.
Not just sharing what inspires, but doing what inspires, because
for yourself.
Exactly. So it's been a journey, and it's been going, and I've really been trying to live as mindfully and trusting my journey and silencing the noise. Yoga really helps me. Yoga. Do you do yoga by chance?
I think any practice that gets you out of the head will help.
Yeah.
And for me, it's not yoga, but for me, it's grounding on the earth with my bare feet on the earth and walking in nature.
Was it Alan Watts? He said, even if you're doing the dishes, do it with intention.
Yeah.
And that really, I've been really training and trying to do that, just to stay present. you know. Do you have any tips on, I mean, I know the usual tips on presence,
Yep.
you know, bringing awareness to the breath, you know, bringing awareness to what's around you. But in terms, not the generic stuff,
Yeah,
in terms
I
of
got
your
something.
heart, because you're a girl of the heart,
Yeah.
and I love that about you. So I want to give me that different spin on presence.
Yeah. Well, there's so many practices to create presence, but for me, presence is radical honesty with your emotions, your mind, your heart, your energy. How am I feeling right now? Dropping into the 0 point. And it is about becoming the observer in a way where you are more aware of where you're getting reactive or where you're getting pulled or what needs to be seen within you. But then I have practices for dropping into the heart where the illusions or kind of the chatter of the mind fades away and you are in the heart space where your heart feels so open, you're breathing more deeply, you're relaxed. And I really believe that in that space, that is the 0 point field of this quantum universe where all timelines, all possibilities are present, and you can really tune into a future timeline that you want to call in, or you can tune into how you want to feel and anchor that now to the point where this is crazy, but the timelines collapse and you draw that reality to you so much faster. And knowing that kind of like you don't need to get anywhere else, you don't need to pull it in, but realizing how much you have here, how much within you that you can unlock. You can already feel what you want to feel now to the point where you don't need it anymore. It's such a beautiful and freeing feeling, like, oh, I'm already free, I'm already at peace, I'm already calm, I'm already worthy. When you know that, you kind of walk in this other state where the world is more sparkly. You start smiling at the world and the world smiles back. And I've felt that really profoundly many times in my life where it almost feels like I'm in a different reality, different dimension.
Oh, yeah. So Ashmi, there's actually one of your posts. Well, I like all of your posts, right?
Thank you.
There's one that really hit the nail on the head for me that I just want to read for the listeners and the audience. And then you can just tell me more about where this comes from, like this knowing, where it comes from, and how you're able to articulate it so well and how you're able to trust it so well, because you're saying things that are really hard for the average human to trust, okay? And so all of those things I want to know, but audience, listen carefully. And this is exactly how I feel, by the way. There is a sense that one chapter has ended and the momentum for the next has not yet arrived. It can feel like you're on a plane and you want to wait to feel the energy of the new destination before starting anything. The reality you are living now may not match the reality you have created energetically. In the limbo space, the timelines are collapsing, so the reality you have manifested energetically can catch up to your present moment. When you trust the vision of your heart more than the reality around you and the lack that you may perceive in your present state, you speed up the materialization of the higher timeline. So she's saying you get what your heart desires when you trust the vision of your heart more than your actual reality. And there are more words. I'll go to the one of the last ones. When you are grateful for where you are now, you find more peace with life as it is. And this also collapses the gap between how you feel now and how you wish to feel. Your next creation won't be guided by the desires of the mind. It will be guided by the natural inspiration of your heart. And when the time is right, you will feel moved and you will know what to do.
Thank you. I forgot I wrote that, but I remember now. Regarding your questions, and it all ties in, I feel like my journey has been about letting go of self-doubt, doubting that voice within. And at first, it was such a quiet whisper. I didn't even know oh, this is my voice of my heart or my spirit or my higher self, whatever you want to call it. But I did journal a lot as a child, and always in the beginning, I'm just writing my emotions, like my teenage anger, right? And towards the end of the page, this wiser perspective came in of it's all going to be okay or something like that. And I realized I felt really calm, and it was like therapy for me to journal. And I realized that there are two kind of voices, my emotional, feeling, my ego, my mind, and also this wiser, expansive knowing. And we all have that. It's just some people don't trust it. Some people don't listen to it. Or you just think, oh, that's just my mind, That's just, optimism, and it's not really real. But when I started practicing just writing whatever comes through, sometimes a word or a sentence would come while I'm just walking or in the shower. Not when I'm trying to write from the mind, but just whenever I feel inspired. Sometimes I'm half asleep and I just write the sentence. And the more I trusted that little nudge, the more the sentences came faster and faster and clearer. I learned how to automatically write or type without second guessing or editing what I'm writing. So I just type it as fast as I can, whatever's coming out, like a stream of consciousness. Don't try to make it perfect, or don't try to fix the word. You can edit it later.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and this is for artists, for any kind of inspiration.
Authenticity and expression.
Yeah. And when you stop doubting it, you start finding that this is my truth. And my life experiences started showing me what you read. I write it with such confidence and clarity because I believe it 1,000% because of my life experiences. So it's not just that I'm getting messages from my soul or higher self. I'm also practicing, embodying, and living it, and my life experience shows me it's true. And everyone has that, like, what you know about your personal life experience and your perspective on life, but you might not think it's valid or worthy of telling other people, or you might not think there's wisdom in it, but you're already so wise from having lived your life. And you have something to give to others who have similar struggles, or where you were 2 years ago, there might be someone who could learn from you. So start to trust your own unique life experience as worthy, and start writing about it. Write about what you know or what you're passionate about, and you will find wisdom there because it's in you. You don't have to learn anything more. Just reflect on yourself. And and the more I moved through this doubt, I started finding more trust in life, in myself, in the universe. And it's truly a different frequency. But once you start trusting more and get out of the fear mindset, the more life shows you reasons to trust. It's a lifelong journey, but also don't judge or watch yourself when you're judging where you are now, thinking I need to do more trust. Well, the trust will happen naturally, but let go of the judging that I'm stuck or I'm not there yet, because that thought itself is what creates the feeling of
resistance. Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
So instead of saying I'm not there, say I am doing it. I'm on my way. Every day, more and more, it's flowing.
It's flowing. Yes, thank you. I think those are
it.
definite. Not apart from everything that you shared, these words that were shared here today were not just for me, but for every single person listening and tuning in right now. This entire episode is for you. There are no coincidences.
Yes.
Anything showing up on your feed, anything that you just get that little burst of energy to click. This, guys, this is energy. That's how subtle energy can be, and how huge energy can be as well. So let's be mindful of the subtle things, not just the big things, and of taking responsibility for our space, not just our physical space, but also our virtual space. Keeping that space, to align to what we want is going to influence the algorithm, and that's going to enter your subconscious mind. So just remember how important cleaning up your feet every couple months. I tend to do that every couple months, just do a little cleanup, just like you clean your apartment, you clean your house, you clean your virtual space.
Yeah. I love that.
So Ashmi, we're going to close off now, and I just wanted to just ask you for any last words that you wanted to share with the audience, and
thank you so much for having me. I'm sending everyone so much love. Know that you're on the path, you're doing it, and it is all unfolding for your highest expansion. Even on the days where you feel lower, that's so normal. It's such a normal thing in the human experience. And know that it is coming for you and it is happening to help you for your journey.
Yay. Thank you so much, Ashmi. I really appreciate you being here and sharing this with the world. And you're an inspiration. You're an absolute inspiration. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Aruna. I love your light and your energy, and you're going to inspire so many people. So keep sharing and keep being you, and don't dim your light.
I'll take that advice. Lots of love.
Thank you.
Bye.
Lots of love.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Soul Beauty. Keep up with me, Aruna Maharaj, as we redefine beauty one conversation at a time.